What does the Alter Bridge in Detroit look like?
It's pretty much an old, dilapidated bridge that that is in the process of getting torn down right now. It's just, yeah, it's just a little bridge over a polluted river that is the border between Detroit and the just the bordering neighborhoods, and it's kind of the crossing point between the absolutely horribly, you know, impoverished, and then you have the wealthy right on the other side of the bridge. So it's just kind of this, I think it's the greatest difference in culture from one side to the other I've ever seen, you know, and it kind of represented to us as kids as the unknown, because we weren't allowed to ever cross that bridge.
Because you were from the good neighborhood?
Because my parents grew up in Grosse Pointe Park, Michigan, which was a nice little neighborhood with, if you went 2 blocks this way or 4 blocks this way, you know, your parents wouldn't allow you to go, because it was just, you know, it went into, Detroit was a very dangerous city when I grew up. If you went into if you went into Detroit and you didn't know what you were doing when you were a young kid, it was pretty dangerous. So my parents said, you can't ever cross Alter Bridge, so it kind of represented to me the unknown. And when we decided to break up Creed, you know, we were leaving our comfort blanket and going over and going into the unknown, just like we did, you know, if we did as kids to go over Alter Bridge. So that's why we called it that.
And when did you decide to call it?
It took us about 3 months.
Was there one moment or one light bulb bubbling around your head?
We had a lot of band names. That was the transition.
Name me one.
Oh, geez. God, what do we have? I can't remember any of them right now. We had 3 months where me and Miles and Phillips and Marshall would all sit there with books of poetry if we liked a certain poet, or thesauruses or dictionaries or lyrical ideas from old albums, and there was nothing that stuck. And one night I talked to my brother Dan, and he said, "What don't you think of landmarks where we grew up?" So I said Alter Bridge was the first thing I said. I said Outer Drive, I said 3 Mile Park, this and that, and Alter Bridge was the one that stuck.
Because of the explanation you gave?
Because it represented something, you know, and every band name that you looked up at the time, it was taken. If there was a one-word band name, it was taken by 18 college bands. Okay. So we had to come up with something unique that has never been said before in a sentence in the music entertainment business, and Alter Bridge was one of them. So it meant something. We could get the copyrights on it, so we went with it.
Okay. And how do you look back now on Creed? Because now it's been a few.
I mean, I think of Creed as our first band, our first successful band that, you know, it gave me the opportunity to go with another band and do it artistically exactly what I want to do, you know. And
what are for you now the biggest differences then?
Between Alter Bridge and Creed was that Creed was existing to be as successful as possible, and Alter Bridge is existing to be as artistic and creative as possible.
Could it be that now that once you've had a success, now you don't have to prove it anymore?
Yeah, no. I mean, it's not that I have anything to prove.
But maybe you had in retrospect. I don't know.
No. I mean, it's just I think you get to a point where you feel like you can retire and you can raise a family, and it gets to a point where you say, okay, I can do that. Now I want to do artistically exactly what it is I want to do, because I got nothing to lose. You know, just have a good time with it, and that's what we're doing.
But did your songwriting changed?
Yeah.
Can you give me an example maybe for?
There's just no ceiling on it. You know, do whatever it takes to make a song better. You can do it. You know, guitar solos. It's one of the big differences. I love playing guitar solos, and it just didn't fit into the '90s music scene at all. Since Kurt Cobain came out with Nirvana, and all the guitar players seemed to disappear. You know, that's been not cool to play on radio, and I always thought guitar solos were great. So I said, with Alter Bridge, I'll do whatever it is I want to do. Put guitar solos on the record. You know, there's not been a tenor in music since probably 1992 when Tesla broke up or something. Miles is the first tenor I've heard in a long time. Cornell's still out there doing it, but other than that, there's a few bands with tenors. So I've always loved tenors. So Miles is the new singer, and it's just kind of just doing exactly what it is you want to do, you know, and not worrying about it conforming to any kind of radio formats or you know, anything like that.
So now you're happy?
I'm happy, yeah.
Really happy. You look happy.
Yeah, hey.
Can I just read out some lines, and maybe I don't know if I think you've written half of the songs. I mean the lyrics, or
Lyrically, I've written about 3/4 of the lyrics.
okay. Okay, let me just see.
Yeah.
Broken Wing.
Broken Wings, wrote those.
Okay.
Yeah.
In my opinion, seeing is to know. The things we hold are always first to go, and who's to say we won't end up alone?
What does that mean?
Yeah, I thought it was really.
It always seems.
thoughtful and
Well, thank you. It seemed to me that it always seems like the first people to turn on you seem like to be the closest ones to you that have the most to gain. And I had a lot of friends that and people close to me turn on me to get something better out of the situation, and kind of
because you were successful.
to an extent, yeah, they could use my connection to go and make a deal with somebody else and stab me in the back in the meantime. And then, you know, who's to say we won't end up alone is, you know, when you have people that live their lives like that, just always trying to achieve something, you know, I think those kind of people, if they keep on living their lives that way, are going to end up on their deathbed with 4 people at their funeral.
Yeah.
And I've met a lot of people like that, and it's just, I haven't until I've been in this kind of lifestyle.
So before you were in this lifestyle,
everybody was nice, everybody was cool. I saw people for who they are. People weren't fake to me to try and get something out of me, but I've met a lot of people in the last 3 years or so that have turned out to be snakes, you know.
And do you now, have you developed some kind of sixth sense for it now?
Yeah. If I sense it right off the bat, I kind of just politely exclude myself from their conversations and stay away.
Okay. One other song, I think maybe one of your most personal one, in Love and Memory.
Mm-hmm.
I feel you in the wind, you guide me constantly.
Yeah.
It's a song about your mother.
Yes.
She passed away. Is you described as if you feel her and sense her?
Yeah.
What way?
Like when I grew up in Detroit, and when I feel a nice cool breeze or something, it reminds me of the times when I was young with my mom, or, you know, hanging out. And I always feel like, you know, if somebody passes away that's real close to you, you never feel like they're gone. You still feel like their spirit is out there, and they're kind of looking over you. So I always feel, you know, that lyric's just about how you always kind of feel your mother or whoever's passed away is still kind of present.
Was it hard to write such a personal lyric? I mean, sharing it with the world. Or...
Yeah. You know, it was the chorus of that song explains the whole reason why I wrote it, because it, you know, a lot of people would ask, why would you put yourself through singing a song like that all the time? Because it actually makes me feel better with the situation. You know, it comforts me to sing this song and to write the song and to get it off my chest, and that's why I wrote and performed that song. You know.
Okay. And how do you write a song? How does an Alter Bridge song come about? You always start with music or lyric, or
I always start with I'll be sitting right here on the tour bus. I'll get out an acoustic guitar and just start strumming chord progressions, and I dig for a melody first. And once I find a melody, then I just kind of create from around the main vocal line.
But can it also be that you have a melody line in your head, and then you look for the chords beneath it?
Sometimes I'll wake up in the morning and I'll be singing a song that I dreamt about, and then that's happened like 4 or 5 times.
Just like yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
let it be. No,
yeah.
It was the same.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, it happened. Yeah.
You know, there's been a lot of times where I'll wake up and I'll be singing a song. I'll get my tape recorder and I'll get it on tape, and it'll turn out to be one of our songs that make the album.
Yeah.
You know, it's weird. Yeah.
Okay. And I have another thing, and I wonder why. Do you see yourself as a medium? That you pick up songs out of the air, like Keith Richards once said, or do you think it really comes from within you? What is your idea on songwriting?
I think there's certain people in this world that have I don't know, some kind of certain connection with melody, and it doesn't matter how good you are at playing an instrument. It doesn't matter how long you've been writing songs. It's just some certain something that people have. I think it's just you know, a born kind of love for music that makes a good songwriter. And I've met a lot of players that might be very, very new guys that have it, you know, and I always encourage them to, you know, like the bass player from Submersed. I think he's got a great intuition when it comes to melody and whatnot. But I think it's something that if you are very passionate about music and you just develop it over the years, you're gonna, you know, eventually be able to be that medium, you know.
And when were you aware that you had that sense?
Well, I never knew it. Still don't know it today. I just kind of sense it in other people. But whenever I write,
when you sense it, then you know what to sense for. So you have to sense it yourself.
Yeah. You know, I think I was, when I wrote my first song that I didn't want to show any of my friends because I wanted to protect it. You know, that's the first time.
What song was it?
Well, my brother and me and my brothers, I had to move when I was a young kid, move away from my two brothers, so it was just me and my parents. So I was the only child for a couple of years.
Because they were older? Or?
They were older, and I had to move down to Florida, and they stayed up in Detroit. And at that time, I had wrote a song about how I missed my family and brothers and all that. And that was the first time that emotion that was in my heart came out in a song. And I always tried to protect that song and not leak it out because I thought, this is my big song.
Yeah.
And from the moment you write that song that gives you the goosebumps or it really works for you where your head was at when it comes out musically, I think that's the moment that you can manipulate your thoughts, music into real music.
And was that, what was the name of that song? Do you still remember it?
I think it was called Yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Famous title. Wait again. And you were saying the song you had goosebumps. Do you have with all the songs that you write now that come up on the album? Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's just now
it could be that maybe there are one or two songs you're really saying, well, this is really good, but you always strive for that.
There's still a lot of songs that have never seen the light of day, that have that special something that haven't fit their other parts. You know, I still think there's a lot of ideas that I've stumbled upon that still haven't seen the light of day that are better than what we've released. But it's just a matter of really piecing that puzzle together to make those songs make sense. They could, you know, there's songs on this album that are 6 years old, that have parts that are 6 years old, just waiting for the right part to become a song.
And do you go back to your old song? I mean, to your.
A lot of people don't like to. They like to write an album, and then write everything new from there, and discard everything they've worked in the past. But I'm not. I don't believe that. I think that there's ideas that worked on this album that I wrote back in high school. Melody ideas. I might have been better able to make more sense musically, but there's still melody ideas that that were still good from back in the day when I was just working on melodies.
But what are you looking for then for the completion, or is it every song different?
It just, when there's a song and it has a good verse and a good chorus, and those parts fit perfectly, and then you just wait until one day you write a bridge that completes that song, you know. And until that happens, you just got to keep writing, kind of not thinking about anything in particular, you know.
But isn't it sometimes hard to I think sometimes there's maybe a thin line between trying too hard and maybe waiting for your inspiration.
I never try too hard. When you try too hard, you fail. You know, if I sat here right now and you said, here's a guitar, write a great song, I'd fail, I'd fall on my face. But when it comes time for myself to sit by myself and write a piece that has nothing to do with anything else in the world, that it's just how I'm feeling at that moment, that's easy to write. And then when that thing I write at that moment fits with something in the past, that's when it really works, you know.
And okay. And then do you have to be in a certain mood then? Is it for you?
Yeah, sometimes.
Which is?
Just a mood like today. Just you got music all around you. You want to play. You know, it's when you see other bands, it inspires you. When you know, just the whole atmosphere of touring. You know.
Next question. I think how much time? Okay. Last question. What are your plans now for the near future? Let's say within half a year. Are there any plans or?
we're going to be touring here for 2 weeks. We go back to the States, tour for 3 weeks, and then we're going to rent out a rehearsal pad to write for about a month. Then I'm going to spend a little time with I got a newborn son, so I got to spend a little time with him. And then Austin.
Austin.
That's where Stevie Ray Vaughan was born.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. Oh, that's why he's named Austin? Okay.
Yeah. Then we do a tour in August and September in the States, take 2 weeks off, then come over to Europe in November. And then we'll probably get in the studio in spring.
Okay, so and then spring, and then maybe the new album will be...
We'll record for probably February, March, get in the studio, you know, April, May, June, come out with the record in August, maybe.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.